Hi, Bryte Church. Thank you for joining us for another devotional. And um, if you've been looking at what's going on right now, the Olympics are going on, or at least they were going on. And what we've seen is a lot of races, a lot of track and field, and different kind of sports. And there's one race that stood out to me. It wasn't the Olympics, but it was the men's sprint race. And it was University of Washington, and I think in a couple of those higher colleges that were in this race. And the race is going and it's coming to a close, and there's three guys kind of ahead of the pack, and the first guy is leading really well. And as he's getting close to the finish line, he starts celebrating and he's waving to the crowd, and he's, kind of excited, happy, starts to slow down. And you can see the second guy start getting right close, and he finished right in front of him by 1/8 of a second. And the guy falls down, the one who was gonna be in first place, who's already started celebrating, falls down, and he's just covering his face, unbelief, just discouraged and broken because he started celebrating too early. The race wasn't finished, and he thought he already won. And what we're going to read today is Peter is talking to his readers, and he's saying the end is close, and don't do these things. Do these things. And the passage that we're going to read is interesting. It's Peter 4 verse 7. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 7, and he starts like this: the end of all things is at hand, or it's near. The end of all things is near. And automatically all of us should be kind of on alert. The end is near. What do we do, Peter? Tell me, what do we need to do? Do we need to get things ready? Do we need to go somewhere? Do we need to do things, right? And he's telling the readers the end is near. And so I'm sure in the room or in the letter as they're reading it, everybody's got their ears up and they're saying, okay, what do we need to do? And he says in the following: the end of all things is at hand. Therefore, be self-controlled and sober-minded for the sake of your prayers. And it's like, wait, what? That's it? And it's interesting because I think everyone was expecting, like, hey, do this, go here, do this, make sure it gets done. But what he's saying is two things: be self-controlled and be sober-minded. And self-controlled could be this, another word in different translations, it'd be disciplined. Be self-controlled and disciplined. And I think for us, it's a question of where is most of our time consumed by? How is our discipline going? Who is controlling our life? And where do our disciplines go? We have time slots that we kind of do. If you went to any workout program or just did your own workout, you have disciplined time, right? You spend 30 minutes on upper body, 30 minutes on lower body, 10 minutes on cardio, and whatever, and there's discipline in that. Or this week you did this part of the body, last week you did this part of the body. But for us as believers, what is discipline? Are you spending time in the Word? Do you have designated time slots for the Word? Do you have designated time slots to maybe spend some time fasting and discipline your flesh? And not going to places that distract you, not going to things that will distract you? Or is the only discipline that you have is, hey, at 7 p.m. my favorite show is coming on, let's get the chips. That is my discipline. So he's saying be self-controlled, disciplined, and second is sober-minded. Do you love to be distracted? The sober-minded is, another word, is an alert. And the first thing I think is the alert is this right here. That's our number one alert, isn't it? We get notifications, pings, dings, everything, and that's our alert. And where, therefore, when God is trying to do something, we're completely distracted. And he says, be sober-minded. You know, do you love for your mind to take a break? Do you love for your body to take the day off? You know, I'm not talking about the Sabbath, but I'm talking about you go to, you know, you drink to forget. You know, if you have a problem with alcohol, you eat to distract your mind. You know, you go to places or go to bars or places or trips, or even trips just to forget about your life and be like, okay, I'm going to Vegas. I don't want to hear anything until I come back, you know. Or do you do a Sabbath to take a break and get the Word of God in you? And so he's mentioning these two things, and it's interesting because it ends with, for the sake of your prayers. And you have to remember who's writing this. This is Peter. And if your mind automatically jumps to the Garden of Gethsemane, God tells him, or Jesus tells Peter, watch and pray, right? And he's basically told him this same thing. And I'm sure as Peter's writing this, this is in the back of his mind because he remembers how he failed Jesus. Jesus told him, watch and pray so that you don't fall into temptation. And Peter says, you know what? We messed up. We did not have self-control, and we did not have discipline, or we weren't alert. We fell asleep. And Jesus comes back to them and says, could you not watch with me at least this time, because, you know, I needed this help. And so I think the main thing is, as we kind of see that, you know, all the crazy things going on in this world, Peter is saying the same thing. Just like it was the end of the road in the Garden of Gethsemane for Jesus, and he completely missed it. They had no idea. Same thing for us. If, you know, we don't know what will happen tomorrow or what's going on in our country or overseas, but the one thing that we can be is self-controlled and self-disciplined. We can be alert and sober-minded, and we can be disciplined so that we always have time to pray, so that we can come to God in prayer and he will start working in our lives. So that's my encouragement to you guys is, and I'll read it again, 1 Peter 4:7, the end of all things is at hand. Therefore, be self-controlled and sober-minded for the sake of your prayers. God bless you guys.